My name is Kelvin, and I'm glad to meet you guys here today. An opportunity to share my knowledge, with you guys and learn from you guys as well. So you're welcome to predicting stock price prediction using machine learning algorithms. First off, let me briefly have an idea of the audience, what the audience is made up of. Week one, do we have people who have been in data science, been in the field of data science there? People who are advanced in machine learning, you use machine learning to dump stuff around AI. Okay. One person. Any BI person, business intelligence person here. Okay. Business intelligence. Alright. I think we roughly have less than 0.something% of data science, or people who are aware, but I guess a good number of us are aware of data science and the advancements, the emerging technologies in machine learning and AI, artificial intelligence. And the speaker that spoke before me just did some very good job on conversational interfaces, and this is where the world is going towards, predictive stuff, allowing businesses to leverage on these technologies to drive more, returns. So, quick one, I go straight. That's me, and that's my Twitter handle. You can check that out. So, about me, let me quickly do something about myself. My name is Kelvin Oyanna. I'm a data scientist. I have core interest in data analytics technologies, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. And I guess a few number of us are also interested in these technologies. Okay. Currently work with a company called Code 54. Basically, they have an Andela model training software developers and data scientists. Currently head the data science program, mentor and train data scientists, people interested in data science. Okay. I love building tech communities. I'm so passionate about this. Something I've been interested in. I currently head and I co-organize and lead the Pi Data Lagos community. Have you heard of Pi Data Lagos? Anyone heard of Pi Data Lagos community? Okay, Pi Data Lagos is actually an affiliate of the global Pi Data organization. Pi Data organization is the big company behind some of these data science technologies, the pandas, the NumPy, Matplotlib, open source projects. They put in billions of dollars to ensure that these things are sustained. The libraries you use, the support all that. So Anaconda, they are the big supporters of Anaconda as well. So we are affiliate of them. We have meetups. You can join up with our team. Then last, I love fried plantain. It's interesting. You just get me in the mood doing stuff I love to do. So that's that a bit about myself. Now, why we're here today? Okay, we're actually here for stock price prediction using machine learning. So basically, I'll walk you through stock. What do we really need to do with these things? And so, quick one. What are stock? Stocks also refers to as shares equity. They represent the fractional or ownership of a company. So companies want to raise more money to fund their projects, do stuff, build more products. They go public, throw out part of ownership of that company to people. You buy shares or equity into those companies. So for a percentage, so you now share dividend of that ownership. So basically, that's what shares are all about. I'm giving this context because we are talking about stock price prediction, so you should have an idea. Or for those who are already in the stock market, people in the stock market here who understand stock and trade stock. Okay, I think this basics is very necessary then. Then the stock market. The stock market refers to public market that exists for issuing, buying, selling of stocks on the stock exchange or over the counter. And simply put, the stock market is the place where investors can sell or buy ownership of companies. So you have stock markets, you have the Nigerian stock market, you have the London Stock Exchange, Nigerian Stock Exchange, a whole lot of that. So they actually trade all these shares, trade all these equities. So you as an investor can go into the stock market, maybe through a broker, or you go in there to really buy stock and trade. For what? For returns. Like you buy stock when they are low, then you resell when the prices are high. To turn in more revenue, more money for you. Alright, quick one. So what's the fuse about the stock market? What's the whole thing? Why should I be interested in stock market? Like, I mean, is there anything in there for me? Fantastic. Currently, the global stock market has, it's called global capitalization of about 80 trillion US dollars. I mean, if you understand that, that's some big money. So, a big one for investors interested in taking, for example, if somebody here can take maybe 0.01% of this, you know what that means? That's some good money, right? Okay. According to Bloomberg, it's steadily heading towards the $100 trillion. So it's a big industry, lucrative. Then the Nigerian Stock Exchange checked out as of January. It's currently valued at 14.18 trillion naira. That's some big money. So for those interested in stock, it's a big one. The big guys are already there. They leverage so much on these things and so much money doing stock trading. Okay? So why stock prediction? Why do we really need this talk? Now, first, let me tell you a quick story. Somewhere around 2017, I was informed about this FGM bond. Many of you are aware of the FGM bond. FGM bond, federal government bond, issued. It's still going on now, like they issue monthly. So I bought the bond. The whole thing was quite interesting. The returns is expected to be around 12%. So I bought like 100 units. Somewhere around 100 units. I was expecting, the returns to increase and all that. Pretty much, I have a few friends that already do all these things. I'm like, oh, guys, take advantage of this thing. Check it out. It's going to make sense. And me, being that it's a saving bond, I said, look, nothing is going to affect it. Like, the returns is going to be steady. And it's federal government. They are not going to run bankruptcy. So I said, okay, fine. I put in some money. So 3 months down the line, I got my first return. That's the first quarter. And I was shocked what I saw. It wasn't really anything to go with. So I earned probably 700 naira or something. It was crazy. I was like, what is this? Why waste my money in this? Then I went to ARM. ARM is their major broker. I went to ARM, told them about this. I said, come on, guys, I need some money. I need to blow. I said, okay. What will you guys do for me? Any other option? They said, okay, we have money markets. So money market fund is better than FGM. Put in your money there, yeah, you go blue. So I thought I would blue. I put in some money there. So after investing my money in stock, this is what I was expecting. Sit back there, grab some compound, and let my money grow like grass. Some of us rock that shit, right? Yeah. What about the people? Some people who rock that shit are fucking broke. Okay, that's on the lighter note too. So that was me there, sit back at home, grab some compound with my laptop. I was waiting to watch my money grow. Man, 2 months after, 3 months after first quarter, I got my return. But it didn't make sense. Man, they were giving me around 18 point something percent. Wow. Man, I saw my first this thing after the first 3 months. Man, this thing is cool. I was really there, just like man, I've blown, like, this is interesting. I want to make a lot of money here. Unfortunately, so many things happened. Recession came in, so many bad things happened. And seeing my returns after 1 year, I'm like, excuse me, are we in this together? Am I going to blow with this kind of setting? So what happened? So many things happened. That's my dashboard, ARM dashboard. Okay? 20 September 2017. That was it. I rose to about 18 point something percent. That was the returns I was getting daily. So many things happened. So many factors came into play. Recession hit hard on the economy, policies and all that, and all the stock market thing. Then I found myself here, somewhere around 12.03% currently. What's happening? Like, you guys told me I will blow now. I mean, I can't blow with this now. Putting more fun. Guys, this was where this thing, and as it stands, you can pretty much see where it's going to. Like, it's going down there. So, think about this. Just take some time to think about this. Imagine I understand all the underlying factors that influence the prices of stock, so I can purchase stocks that will give me better returns. So, I have understanding what affects the market prices like a stockbroker. Stockbrokers are very good in this. They understand the markets, they know the right shares to buy. That's why when you go to a stockbroker, he takes a percentage from you, he do all that calculation to get you on top. So when your money comes in, you give him his percentage. But with my little money, I can't pass anything with the stockbroker now. And besides, I don't know, they might charge me a lot. So what if? Think about it. I understand all the factors that influence stock prices, and I can purchase those stocks that will give me better returns. Stock, the things that affect stock prices include, change of policies, something down in the company, probably a company has something that messed up their system or something. The director got involved in EFCC and all that. Then before you know it, we all heard of so many things that happened. Recently, Nike did something recently, and they tweeted a picture, then instantly, less than an hour, their stock crashed. Same thing applies to Facebook. When Facebook was into some deep shit, when they had this, this breach of data by Cambridge Analytica pulling in users' data. So these things, they affect the stock market. So many things, in the news have effect on the stock market. And some of these brokers, they understand all these things. Now, imagine here, wow. What if I can imagine if I can build an automated system that can understand these factors? So to accurately predict future prices of stocks and tell me which stock is safe to buy. In other words, I don't have to figure these things out. I build an automated system from my knowledge in computing, build an application, build an automated trading system that does this, understand all these factors, bring all them together and say, hey, guy, buy this. This is safe. Imagine that. Just imagine that. Maybe this should be me. The young guy there, having automated system, doing all these things for me, and I'm that guy that blew, and the money is coming in, and I have a whole lot of money. So now I don't really know. I don't have an idea. I don't even know what all these factors that affect the stock market. I don't even know how to go about building a system. Then, okay, start researching. I start talking to people, and somebody say, hey, there's something. Machine learning to the rescue. Machine learning are basically training machines to understand patterns in data. I understand patterns in data, learn from those data, and make accurate predictions of future stuff. I love a very interesting definition by a company called NVIDIA. NVIDIA is a company that produces GPUs and CPUs for machines and laptops. So he said what? He said machine learning is at its most basic, the practice of using algorithms to pass data, learn from it, and make determinations or predictions about something in the real world. So machine learning does all that, learn all that things for you. So you give it some data, like 15 years ago, tell it how the stock market has performed. Just push all those data to a machine learning model. In other words, machine learning is more like you build a model that runs within an automated trading system that actually gathers all the factors, all the data from the news, the data, then it takes data from the performances of stocks for the past 10, 15, 20 years. Now, you understand patterns and correlation in all this data, and he said, look, if this can be, just like these guys that does, the Baba Jebu thing, like they have a way of understanding how too sure we win. There are some people that are very good in that. They can even tell you that, look, this thing, I'm very sure, put money on it. You understand? Basically, that's what machine learning is really going to do for you. Now, so let's dive in. That's just a little brief description of what machine learning is. It allows you to do all that automated system that helps you to predict. So, now let's dive in. Machine learning. Okay, let's dive into implementing machine learning algorithm to predict stock prices. Now, our goal here is basically to build a machine learning model to predict stock prices, accurately predict stock prices. So, what outcome? What are we looking at? What's the outcome? The outcome we are looking will be to predict stock prices and a measure of the percentage of accuracy of our models in predicting those stocks. So, we predict future prices. We take data, past data, we predict future prices, then we now check the accuracy. How accurate is this thing in predicting the stock market? So let's dive deep. Something a bit technical. We're going in a technical space now. Now, how these things are going on behind it. Telling you how you can go about building a model, a machine learning model that can actually take all those data, look into those data, learn from those data, and accurately predict stock prices. Okay? Accurately predict stock prices. So that's where you have it. So many things involved. Install Anaconda that comes with a Python listing. I currently have I released the GitHub code, the link to the GitHub now, so you could have access to it. Every code, the data set is also there, you can have access to it. So what works? I import libraries. Now libraries I include pandas, include NumPy, pandas, NumPy, matplotlib. So these are libraries, Python libraries used for data analysis, used for predictive analysis. Then the main library, scikit-learn. Scikit-learn is a library in Python as well, used for machine learning, used to learn into your data and make accurate predictions on your data. So there's so many things involved. Now that's it. I just imported my libraries. So my libraries include pandas, requests, NumPy. So I created a data frame. Data frame is basically where I'm going to store my data. So I created an empty data frame here. So PD, I instantiate, I named that pandas as PD. In other words, I want it to have a name. So PD.dataFrame, there's a function called dataFrame from the pandas library. I called in here, and what is done is to take track of my data. So, building a simple web scraper to import stock market data from NG Trade Online. Has anyone built a web scraper here? Fantastic. And I think I would encourage many of us here to try to see what that is. Web scrapers are some of the big things now. Like, I love what it does. I want to get data from the website. There was a time I wanted to aggregate all the universities. I want to know all the locations so I can put it on the web app. I just simply did a scrape, build a web scraper to get all that for me. In other words, web scraper is basically a simple application that allows you to take data from all sources, give it websites, then you sit down and this thing bring all the data in real time, download it on your laptop. Get data from anywhere, get data from job sites. If you want to aggregate all the jobs in Nigeria, you can basically take all the job sites, pass it into a web scraper, then daily it downloads and aggregates all that for you. So that is all that about building a web scraper. So basically, I wanted to analyze that for the GTB. So GTB, I want to look at their stock and predict the prices of GTB stock prices. So I'm using this website called NG Trade Online. That's one of the popular trading stock trading platform in Nigeria. So I invested all the data. Not one, I invested for the past, I can invest for the past 5 years or 10 years. Now, what you see here is page 1 done, page 2 done, page 3 done. If you go to this website, you'll see all the pages. So I'm trying to invest all the stock data of GTB, Guaranteed Trust Bank, for the past 5 years. So first you see this is done, page 1 is done, page 2 is done, page 3 is done, and here you have it. So that's the data you have there. So basically, this is Guaranteed Trust Bank. When it was low, now the prices at which it opened, now the current prices, the volumes of trade, then high, change, the changes in prices and the date. That's the data you have there. So I did some data transformation. Data transformation is basically data engineering. So what I did there now is to do something interesting. I backdated. For example, I said if the market closing was at 23 point something naira. So what if I shift this price to yesterday? What happened? Just some basic engineering, data engineering. So I transformed my data, created new columns. Then I generated a new set of data. Now from what that data set, I now have this data set that I'll be working with in my machine learning model, to be training my machine learning model. Okay? So I import the machine learning model from sklearn, scikit-learn, import pre-processing, cross-validation, then also linear regression. So basically I'm using the machine learning algorithm called linear regression. I'm also using that called SVM. So support vector machines are actually used to do a regression problem. So basically, we have classification, we have regression problem. So in machine learning, you want to predict the score of a student in an exam. That is a value. That is what we call a regression problem. But if you want to predict if this person say yes or a no, like 0 or a 1, then that's called a classification problem. So that is why I chose this, because they are regression algorithms that help me to do what I want to do. So that is it there, linear regression and SVM. So I just put there, I did some feature engineering here as well. So that's my data. I created a new data set here after the feature engineering. Like I really explained here, shifting here may help me to change the values back to see how my model will perform. So I created new features. These are the new features. The features I'm going to be putting in my algorithm. Then I did pre-processing, scaling of the data. Sometimes when you have data, you want it not to be too high, not to be too low, because you have what they call overfitting. So things like that, outliers. For example, you have mistakes in those things. So you restrict it to within a certain range. So that is what this scaling does for you. Basically, you don't need to understand how it works. Just call a scalar and it does the job for you. Okay? Now, building machine learning model. So I'm using linear regression. This is what I just did, linear model. I created the linear regression object here. Then I fitted it into this data set. Meanwhile, I broke my data into a test set and a train set. Now, why do I do that? I want to train a machine learning model to predict future of a stock or something. But the data I have is just one data. So I break my data into 30% and 70%, for example. Then I train all the data on the 30%, on the 70%, so that the remaining 30% I will use it to test the model I just trained. So that's exactly what we are doing here, using 10 train test suites. Cross validation is basically